Are we on?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Steve Shockley with True Travelers, and we're here at the Rockwood Museum and Mansion in Wilmington, Delaware. It's right off of Marsh Road in Wilmington, Delaware, and it's one of the first places that I've had the pleasure of doing an investigation where I didn't have to drive 6.5 hours. It takes me all of 19 minutes to get here. But we've been having a great time. Not much has happened with Mary and I. We were up in the attic first and down in the basement. The basement, we had some activity with a flashlight experiment. But Dr. Lou is with another team, and you may remember Dr. Lou from a couple of the YouTube episodes, and he was doing an investigation and an interview show with one of the gals from GHI. She was here. I wasn't sitting on this couch, we were on a different couch, but Dr. Lou had some strange, interesting things happen to him just about 15 minutes ago.
Well, I was up upstairs with a really good group of individuals, and we were wandering from room to room. And at first, when we were up in Mary's room, and we were getting some strange photographs taken with the multispectral camera. We were getting some fog and some different things that almost looked like a shape of a person. But we moved over to Edward's room, and I mean, literally, all hell broke loose. We had all types of things happening. We were using the Ghost Sonar app on my iPhone, and it was showing movement throughout the room, and wherever the movement was, people would feel cold. When we shoot pictures there with the spectrum camera, we get all types of different images coming from that. And that went on for, I guess, maybe about 10 minutes or so, at least in that period of time. And then we moved from there downstairs, and we went into the sewing room, and we were, all types of stuff was happening. You could see the blips like coming through the wall, and it'd fly past us and go right out the window. And stuff would move around, and it would be a huge blip that was, well, it looked like a planet almost with rings around, like a Saturn type of atmosphere. And when we would get those things, we'd get real cold spells. The EMF meters were going off. The K2 meters were like pegged constantly. So it was very exciting, and I think it had a lot to do with the group of people that we were with. A lot of things happened. We had a smell of lilac perfume from Mary. She's been following me all over the mansion tonight. And a lot of people were touched, cold hands on their backs or their shoulders and stuff. So pretty interesting night upstairs in the upper areas of the mansion.
Now, Mary Bringhurst was born in 1865, died here at 100 in 1965, and Dr. Lou was up there looking at one of her photographs and made a comment. You know, she wasn't bad looking. I would certainly have come courting. And tell us what happened after that.
Well, the mood of the house kind of changed. That actually was mentioned before we started doing the ghost tours. And one of the first tours that we did, that we had a person who said that they were really sensitive. She came over to me and she said, "Do you know Mary?" And I thought to myself, Mary Bringhurst? Yeah, I know of her. And she said, "Well, she's standing over here and she's very happy. She's smiling and she's happy you're here." I really didn't put much stock in it at first because I thought, oh, well, okay. But 5 psychics down the road, every time I'd come into the house, the house would change, the atmosphere would change, people would say change different, we'd get the smell of lilacs in the room and stuff. And as time has gone on, it's become kind of an interesting relationship. She's always like hanging around and nearby me whenever I'm in the house. One year we were doing an overnighter and I was really sick. I had the flu really bad, and Phil said to me, "You really need to come in. You've got to be here. I need you." And I said, "Okay." So I showed up, and we was up in Mary's room. It was real cold, and the lilac smell was real strong, and people were having all types of things happen. And I said, "You have to excuse me." I said, "I got to go downstairs and get a drink of water." I said, "I really don't feel so good." And I got all the way down to the bottom landing of the step, and some girl comes flying down behind me. She said, "The smell's gone." There was this breeze that went out the room, and there was another lady standing down the bottom of the steps who was very open to impressions of things. And she said, "Mary's standing behind you." And she says, "Leave him alone. He needs to go get his medicine. I want to make sure he's okay." So it's been a very interesting situation with that. It's one of my fondest stories I like to tell, and it's very exciting because it's a personal relationship that I really can't explain. It's not like it's a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship, but it's that she really cares about you, and that you can feel that while you're here.
More of a compassionate, close type of soulmate but nothing romantic. I understand.
More like a friendship. I mean, like, there are certain people that you meet in your lifetime that that, you just like to hang out with. And it's just kind of like that way with me.
Well, that's awesome. Well, that's Dr. Lou, and that's so far the investigation with True Travelers. And we're off to see more stuff. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back with another interview real soon. Bye-bye now.
Good evening, Dr. Lou, on one of our updates here at the mansion here at Rockwood. Good evening, Kathy. Can you tell us a little bit about your evening this evening here at Rockwood?
Hi. I had a great evening here. We were in the tea room, and I was able to communicate through the rods with a nanny who was visiting because she loved the memories. She was not held here by anything wrong, or there was nothing that we could help her with. She just wanted to come in and visit. So I was very grateful to be able to talk with her. It was a great experience. And fortunately, we had enough forethought to get it on tape, so we have evidence.
You guys have been around throughout the house tonight. Is there one place that you found that's a little bit more active than any place else that you've been in the evening?
For the first time, I actually felt Mary's presence in her bedroom. I was in there talking to her, and I try to keep my visits brief with her so that I don't disturb her. And while I was there, I felt as if she was right there with me and was resting on the divan and was getting ready to sit up and actually talk to me. So that was my first real experience feeling her, and it was awesome.
Well, we appreciate you taking a few moments out to share that with us.
Thank you.
Here we are up in Mary's room. This is where the first process began as we came in. We began to get colder chills up here. We began to smell the lilacs. And throughout this entire area, it became foggy inside the camera lens, dealing with the multi-spectrum camera. Now, we were shooting regular footage, and we weren't really getting that much on there. We couldn't make a determination that there was fog or anything. But the multi-spectrum has really been a big help in giving us a lot more information. They would see an object just a little shorter than myself, around my shoulder area. Mary was not an extremely tall lady. She was probably somewhere around maybe 5 foot, or maybe a little bit taller than that. I'm 5'9", so it would have probably been equal to be around this general area here. People would move me out of the way or stand next to me, and then the image would be between us. It would shift from right to left. And that's where we started out seeing things here with inside Mary's room. We spent probably about 15-20 minutes in here, and then things began to slow down. The coolness chilled off, and we lost the lilac smell. And we decided to move along into another area of the house, which we're going to go to now, which is Edward's room. Okay, we're in Edward's room, and this is where a lot of the activity happened. I happen to be using my iPod, and we're using some of the tracking devices upon it, just like we were last night. You may hear some of the pinging going on. As we were getting these multi-pings in here, we were getting multi-visions with the Spectrum camera. And people would be standing over here, they'd be standing on the other side, and as the pings would appear behind them or beside them, the camera would register a fog or sometimes more of an outline of an individual. So this went on for about half of 30 minutes or so. The room got extremely cold. We did not have any smells at the moment. Near the end, although, there was an image that was seen behind me on a regular basis in the last 5 to 10 minutes that we were in here, and the lilac smell came back in again. So we take it that it was probably Mary in the room here with me. These devices, I don't always put a lot of respect into, but when we were getting the pings, anywhere that we saw a ping in the location, using us as the center and the things pinging around us, when we took pictures, we got objects. So become a little bit more of a believer that these apps are a little bit more maybe than what they intend to be. So with that in mind, we will talk a little bit about what happened down in the basement, and we'll be moving on. Okay, we're in the sewing room. It was actually the next stop that we made before we went to the basement. And using, again, the same devices, we were picking up a lot of sound pinging. Objects were moving, and they were coming from this direction here behind us, and it would move sometimes and stay in the room, but a lot of time it just came through and flowed out towards the window, and it was just a motion like this. And we were getting maybe 10-15 pings every 2 or 3 minutes, and the cameras were taking all types of interesting pictures, which we hope to have some of those available in the near future to be able to add to this video log. This is just some of the things that happened here, and the people were very impressed. Now, I was with the same group basically all night long, and I don't want to say that people that were in other groups didn't have same experiences. They did have a lot of experiences, but sometimes the people that you're with generate a particular energy, and sometimes things are more attracted to it. And I happen to think that I was with Spook Central that night. They were a really great group of people, and we really enjoyed having them here, and I think we got a lot of reaction to that. We're going to drop down to the basement and show you some stuff down there.